Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future trading. All our videos are for educational purpose only. Welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future trading. All our videos are for educational purpose only. Welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future. Sorry about that. And you're very welcome to follow any of our automated signal as long as you are on sim. We're not responsible for your trade. We're not your financial advisor. Whatever you do in the market is strictly on your own. I don't know if you can hear from the microphone. We have a severe storm outside and it's whistling. I'm amazed the internet holding. So we will try to see. It is a really severe storm out there. I don't know if you can hear it from the microphone. Everything is flying. And the market is flying today. Beautiful short trend on the ES. We had the symmetry at 4,700 level. And then the market... Okay, can you hear anything, Amir, from the wind blowing out there? And then we had a retracement to the 46.95, and now we are going to the 46.86, and this is our first support line. The ES had a sell signal and nailed 32 ticks on the sell signal, and this is a way below the sell signal. So did the market did hit the target, and you hear the wind. Does anyone can hear the wind blowing on in the background? Okay. It's a really severe storm we have. The table flew. The table outside flew, and and it's not a light plastic table. It just was up in the air. The gold today and the ES doing extremely well. The ES is trending nicely today. It's very unusual for an ES to trade better than the Nasdaq, but the ES is trading better than the Nasdaq today. It's trending, and the gold is trending, and the CL is trending. The Nasdaq is a little bit chop on the Nasdaq. That's very fine, but this is very unusual to see the ES is trending and the Nasdaq is a little bit the choppy market on the Nasdaq. So, welcome to trading. You think you've seen it all, then the second day you see something new. And another puzzle, you see the gold is going in the same direction as the ES. Welcome to trading. Don't analyze it, just take it as is. And on the 1 minute entry signal, we have the signal, sell signal on we have a sell signal on the gold at 186.1 and 185.5 is the target. So those are the signal. This is the only signal we got right now on the gold. And the Nasdaq is not trending. That's fine. The YM is okay. The YM is trending because usually the YM follow the ES blindly, and the ES is okay. It's doing fine. It's going to the target. No big deal. But the Nasdaq, there is some problems with Nasdaq. Let me show you. If we look at the ES is going back. If you are not on a trade on an ES, please, you can do that on a sim. We're not responsible for your trade. There is a pullback if you want to re-enter on the ES and you don't have any position on any auto trade. with the ES. You can take the ES re-entry at 46.9250 as a re-entry short, limited order sell is right there. This is the re-entry for it. So if we look at the ES and we look at the YM, they are going on the same direction in a way. And then if we look at the market analyzer, which for the guys have handicap with understand if this market is sideways or not, or there is a bumper right in there. I mean, there is a turbulence in the market. You can always see from the market analyzer the 1 minute. If you look at the 1 minute, the Nasdaq is to the buy signal, the ES to the short signal, and the YM to the short signal. This is what is making your Nasdaq not taking a nice trade. Whether you are auto trading or manual trading is irrelevant, folks. It is irrelevant. The only thing right now, it is really going on the Nasdaq if you are using extremely small time frame. I mean, extremely small time frame, trying to pick up some signals here and there. We're talking about maybe 20 seconds or 10 seconds or something like this, but just to pick up a small trade. For talking about the normal automated trading right now, even if your Nasdaq now start taking a long trade, if this Nasdaq across the 16412, maybe there is a good potential to climb to 16441.25. But here is the problem with the Nasdaq, folks, as we covered before. The ES is the oxygen for the Nasdaq. I know some people don't agree, but it is. And the ES is not to the long trade, it's to the short trade. And as we called it for you on a sim, you can re-enter the market at 46.9250 as a short order. And then if you notice, the Nasdaq, I mean, not unless if there is some kind of news on the Nasdaq is gonna make it ignite, but from the technical point of view, the Nasdaq is not going anywhere, you know. So you're gonna be fooled by a couple bars at the moment, and then there we go. If we please is very important, because like when we are auto trading or manual trading, we can be fooled by this. And when we see the market analyzer to the sell position, the YM sell position, and the Nasdaq to the buy position, the market is not in sequence, and that is going to put a pressure on one of those instruments, ES or Nasdaq. And this is, you really have to be careful, even if you are using normal indicators. You have to combine those two together. You cannot say, I'm only trading Nasdaq without, I don't need to look at the ES. No matter what you do in the market, you have to keep your eye watching the Nasdaq. And right now, let me show you something about this three range chart. It is extremely small, and it is taking a trade left and right on the Nasdaq. Look at it. It's taking a small trades, and because it is extremely smaller time frame. Oh yes, sir. Yes, you can hear it. Yes, I mean, I cannot avoid it. So and you can see on the 3 range, is catching a small trade on the precision auto trade, and look at this, is trying to catch every movement on it. Look, and it's gonna keep taking those small trade. I mean, on the smaller time frame, micro, I mean, you're gonna have some trades. It's gonna keep open closing position, and it's following the trade. And if we notice, you see how it's catching the trends. You know, it's extremely fast. And there we go, 200, 340, 460, 520, 687, bingo, stop the auto trade. And this is what I want you to learn from the Christmas. You know, we are going closer to the Christmas. You don't let it run all the time. You just keep till you catch a trend. Like now, this is, the other one was $700. This is $500. Stop it and move away. You know, because you're gonna see a lot of this is extremely fast, and you gotta be careful on this. And look at this. I mean, if you know how to ride it, sure, you know, look at this. And let me show you on the institutional auto trade on the NASDAQ, is killing it as well. And on the institutional auto trade, I'm using a normal Renko. It's already hit 1,000. It's been on a short trade. I'm sorry, it's the TI7. I was not aware of that. It's the TI7 auto trade. And there we go. It's extremely fast. And you know, doesn't matter the PNL. What I want to show you right now, guys. Okay, it's finished. And this is a TI7. Let me. So this can give us a headache, so we're gonna take it away. And like before this, NASDAQ crashed down right now, and if you spot it, and you spot the ES was not in sequence, and this is a proof my point that we have a gentleman yesterday. He's a professional trader. He only trade ES NASDAQ, and for those guys, they trade only ES NASDAQ. You cannot trade the NASDAQ if you don't have your eye on the ES, folks. You cannot, simply as that. And when we spot the NASDAQ is going on the opposite direction in the market analyzer, if we go back to the video, and that proved my point that if the ES going to the short side, the NASDAQ is not gonna really go ahead and make $1,000 trade, not unless if there is some kind of breaking news on some kind of stocks or on the NASDAQ things. But from the technical side, the NASDAQ is not gonna climb $1,000 target if the ES is not in conjunction with the same direction. So this is something that you need to spot it, and you say, okay, there is something wrong. Now, if you are a little bit more advanced trader, doesn't matter what system you have. Maybe you have a couple of favorite indicator you have under your sleeves. That's very fine. But you need to put the ES in conjunction with the NASDAQ to predict the NASDAQ, and the market has to be in sequence. And then this is where you start immediately when you see this market in sequence, the ES, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, the 30-year Treasury bond is on the opposite direction, that it is a green light for auto trading. This is a green light for auto trading. If you, let's say, you want to determine if the NASDAQ go in the wrong direction or the ES go in the wrong direction, normally the NASDAQ will stand by when there is an important level. The ES has to cross, the NASDAQ hold on standby. One of the things you hear from this guy, like this guy yesterday, he said it was another $5,000 laid on the table and he got out early. And if he knew the trick between the ES, I mean, the guy made money, but he could have made $5,000 more. He's on a different type of level trading than normal traders. If he had his eye on the ES, he would not leave behind $5,000 on the table. So let me, when we are auto trading and we have an auto trade on the ES making $4,000 or $5,000, or if we have a CL is making $1,000 or $100, let me show you what's the situation right now when you are auto trading. It's not to just get in a freak out by the PNL and get excited. It is how to maximize the trades, and God give us a brain to maximize our trade. And the auto trade, okay, they're good, fine, but auto trade cannot tell you I got a gutsy feeling it is over. On the short side, it's not going to tell you, well, I have a gutsy feeling it's not going to cross this fib line. It's not gonna, don't have any feeling. It is 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. But now if we look at the ES and the NASDAQ, they are working in conjunction with each other. And those target 1, target 2, target 3, those are institutional numbers. And it's 10-15, the target 3 should be between 11 and 12. I apologize, the target 2 should be between 11 and 12. And today they yank it all the way down to the third target, which the third target is usually, normally it's for the afternoon session. On the morning session, you only get target 1 and target 2 between 11 and 12. And mainly on Friday. On Friday, on the first hour, you will hit, because there is a lot of noises on Friday. There is a lot of amateur trading, a lot of automated trading. People don't know what they're doing. By the first couple hours, they lose their money. They go home. They tell, I mean, you know, they didn't get it. But then those guys, they start coming in the afternoon at 1:30 and start sniping all the ticks. And if we look at the ES situation right now, and if we look at the NASDAQ situation, the NASDAQ came into the support area at 163.29, and it's not over yet, because if you notice, the ES has hit the target, the institutional number, profit taken, and there is still more beef on the NASDAQ to hit target 1, profit taken. Once this ES hit target 3 today, most likely you're not going to see any more action in the market for the rest of the day. Whoever trade today and made 2,000, made 200, made 4,000, is finished. The guys did not take those trades. You have another day to fight. You're not gonna get anything out of this market, and that is guaranteed, my friend. you're only gonna start losing money because the trend is over by two elements on the ES. I will show it to you. If you look on our system, there is two yellow lines here, and we've been using those for many years. Very rare those they fell. Once this market sink into this yellow line, this is a dead zone here, and vice versa. When you're taking up, when you're going long, we have this indication. This indicator is not a dummy indicator as those guys they're trying to sell it to you. Overbought, oversold, and you see a bunch of kids amateur trading on a crypto telling overbought, oversold. They don't know anything about supply and demand. And they should not be sitting, teaching trading when they don't know what is all trading all about. And once this market gets between those two yellow lines, this means there is no new trade should be taken anymore. Once you see this ES going between those two the yellow lines and you're auto trading, whether you have $200 on that auto trade, $4,000, $2,000, and for those last 15 years, people ignoring technical chart, they never get off the ground. Again, what we have seen for the last 15 years from every nation, every country, from all the way from far Asia to the Europe, to the most disciplined people, Germany, Switzerland, those are very disciplined people, very knowledgeable people, all the way to USA. People ignore technical chart, they never get off the ground. They never get off the ground. Never. And that's what we have experienced the last 15 years. It's irrelevant whether you are using my system or somebody else's system, you're not off the ground, and I'm not gonna buy any hot air balloons. Anyway, and those guys, they play in God and smart traders on any kind of forum. I don't know. I have my own things. Before I get in trouble, let's go back to the trading. If you go back and you see we hit the target 3, and there is 2 lines here indicate to tell you it's time for you to bail out. We cannot in the trading pinpoint the last tick sometimes in the market, which we do. But not every time we can pinpoint the last tick in the market, but we can pinpoint exactly when this market about to turn around. Once this market hit in there, once this market hit between those 2 yellow lines, you have the target 3. Don't need a brilliant trader, does not require a guy with a light bulb on his head, you know, light and saying I'm smart and I have an IQ, man, a high IQ. Once this market entered those 2 yellow lines, and sometimes you have a fib line in between, this means get the hell out, close your trade, and run as fast as you can out of the house, go buy flour, go wash your car, do something, but don't sit behind the computer and let the devil play your head. Another option you can do is reverse the market on a micro account ES. I don't know if it's going to be reversed here or here, but if we can take a 1 micro account somewhere around there and leave it alone for the next hour, because the party is over. Let me show you. If you go back to this video, what we told you about the NASDAQ, the party is not over until it hit the first target. And look what happened. It hit the first target, and the market turned right back up. When you are using those dummy out-of-date indicators, ATR, MACDs, all those nonsense, by this time is giving you a long trade, and ATR is immediately, the automated ATR is taking a trade. I don't care what kind of setting you have. I don't care what kind of optimization. And there is no long trade in here. There is no long trade. The party is over. So as we notice here, the Nasdaq came into the first target with the support line and turned right back and is going to retest the 16375. The blind guy, if he's using an ATR, he thinks he got a winning trade today. But he's not consistent on taking the next trade or the second trade or tomorrow trade when this market is going to turn around again and go against his favor. He is playing dice in here. If we look on the ES, you have a reversal, got into this area here. Right now, technically with automated trading, is a pullback re-entry if you are automated trading. It's not an ATR on the first breakout with a moving average. If you want to now to start scalping the market, if you wanted to start scalping the market, you start going from the level here and taking a few takes, close it out and play around with that, which we have some traders. They've been around for many years. They can do that. Yes, they can do that. They can sit down and nail and bang on this market day and night. Actually, their favorite season is when you come around the Christmas and the market is flat. They go heavy with the trading. Those guys, they are my best friends for many years in Texas. We've been together for over 20 years. And those guys, the biggest stop loss they use is 4 ticks. Manually. They have all the auto trade you can think of. They have our system. They have many different systems. They don't use auto trades. It's just collecting dust on NinjaTrader. But they do go on a 4 ticks, 2 ticks a stop loss, and they go in and out. They can generate 60 trades, 70 trades, and while they're drinking coffee. So this is a total different attitude. This is a total different level of traders. But this is right now here in this situation here is no longer expecting big move if you are auto trading. If you have an earlier trade like this ES, if you have an earlier trade like the CL, if you have an earlier trade, this one here is finished and it did very well, and it's fine to stay on a trade. But when you are alone in auto trading, you know the party is over, and there is no use to sit down exposing your account for another lousy $200. I don't know if this market gonna go any more farther than that. I doubt it. And even if there's gonna go a little bit farther than that, the 46, 67, they're playing you. Because the minute it's gonna go a little bit down, it's gonna turn right back up again, and then you're gonna start losing money. So if we notice here, the party is over, the trend is over. And now it is 10:26, and you're gonna see plenty of this from now till New Year Eve. The market spikes for a couple minutes, 3 minutes. If you are in there, you're gonna nail it. And if you miss it, you're gonna miss it. Here's the problem. It's not just waiting on the spike. Sometimes, this has happened to me last year. I'm ready for the CL. I know the CL is gonna fly. And I'm waiting on 9:30 to turn on my CL. And guess what time it spiked the CL? At 9:29, a minute before the market is open. So we cannot predict it, and we cannot optimize when this market is gonna spike. We cannot. We don't have a voodoo crystal ball coming out of somebody's butt and telling us what is going to happen. We don't have that. We don't have this luxury. But the secret here from now till New Year Eve is not about we can wait on the spike. If you notice on a Tuesday video, it was dead market. It was very dead market. The auto trades is on the YouTube. It was no auto trade making $200. And then all of a sudden the market just spiked and we were on $3,000 and $4,000 trades. Here's the problem. This is where you can use those filters, because let's say if this market going to spike at 11 o'clock, 11:30, and you have a dummy auto trade as an ATR going above or below the moving average, it's not doing anything. And let's say this market is going to spike at 11:30. By the time you get to 11:30, you are a dead meat. Your account is blown. You are down a couple $1,000. So you cannot say, that's okay, I will go ahead and take the beat until the market spikes. Because if the market going to spike at 11:30, or this market is going to spike a little bit every single day. We don't know even if it's going to be in the afternoon. So in order for us to wait on that spike, probably you are a dead meat before it happened. When the market is not trending, as we see right now, is going back and forth, this is a confusion for an amateur trader. He don't understand why all of a sudden his auto trade is not making any money, because he's not looking at the chart. Where are you gonna get money from here? There is no money to be made here. Whoever made money, and whoever didn't make money, live with it for tomorrow. Welcome to trading. You're light. As we see, the Nasdaq right now is going back as a re-entry 16364. This is a technical re-entry on the Nasdaq on a sim if you want to take that trade. There is no long trade at the moment until this Nasdaq finish with the 6343 as a resistance. He's going to climb here, and then you can nail it from there as a short position, re-entry position from there. For the ES story, is gonna drive you banana. It's going to drive you crazy. From now to 12 o'clock, the ES is going to be from target 1 to target 2, from target 2 to target 3, and it's gonna sit down and play with us, making fun of us for the next half an hour, and it's gonna give us a headache. If the ES is going to move and want to tease us more, is going to the 4682 and then take a dive to the target 2. Once those targets are achieved, don't need a brainer on an auto trade to say, get the hell out, stop your auto trade, run out of the house, do something with your life. Don't sit miserably behind a computer getting depressed or getting greedy. The greed, it is the worst enemy in the trading. And tell me about it. I was about to close heavy position, because now it's time to close all positions. And I was about to close heavy position on hundreds of thousands of dollars, waiting on 5 ticks to close. And I did not close this trade because over stupid 5 ticks. And now I'm having a pain with it. I have to sit down and look at it every single morning. It's depressing me. and I need to close those positions before Thanksgiving, because after Thanksgiving I don't have any integration with any given market. So now, if you notice here, the Nasdaq is getting up to the 16360. And this is here, this is the re-entry point for a re-short trade, re-entry short. The ES, if you notice, it's been for the last, since when he hit target 3, is going back and forth, playing with our brain, back and forth, giving us a stress, and put us in a delusion somewhere here. Is it short? Is it long? Is it short? Is it long? If you are auto trading, you can be taking a long trade, and I have a long trade. If that's what you're thinking about, I have a long trade, and it's making money. Look where the Nasdaq is stopped. If because somebody is gonna say, well, my auto trade is making money, long on the Nasdaq, and my auto trade is making money. You're not the only one. And this one is making money. But look what happened to the Nasdaq. Today you got lucky, you got $1,000 on that trade. Tomorrow you're not that lucky to get $1,000. Tomorrow you're gonna get whacked $500 on that trade. As long as we understand what's going on in the market, you're allowed to trade anything. And we have predicted this Nasdaq is gonna come and fool with us all the way from the re-entry, and it's taking a dive. Look what happened, gentlemen, on the ES. It's playing with us. It's screwing with our head. This is our wife's job to screw with our head. It's not the ES supposed to screw with our head. This is our wife's jobs, our girlfriend jobs, you know. Keep messing with our head, you know, destroying our brain. But not the market. Don't let this market do it. If you have the market doing it, and you have a girlfriend and a wife and a daughter doing it for you, then you need a hospital after that. You know, you brush those off and you get strong and you say, I'm not going to sit down and play this stupid game here on the ES. I don't know if it's a long or short. I don't know. I'm out of here. I cannot see trend. I'm out of here. I cannot see trend. I'm not trading. I'm stopping my auto trade. That's how you wanted to do it. You cannot sit down on a gambling table all day long, shoveling cards and make winning. You're not going to be doing this. You're going to end up buying auto trades the rest of your life. You're not going to get anywhere with it. There is no such a thing. You sit down on a blackjack table all day long making money, and that this market is no better than any other place. Once you see the trend, you make money, get out, do something. Don't let the devil play with your head. Don't let your friends say, oh man, let's go for 1,000. Tell them, put your mouth in your wallet and put $1,000 from your pocket and tell me how you're going to do it. You know, and protect your money. Protect your money, protect your investment, protect your profits. We still see until now, when we come in and do support, we see people are auto trading from 6, 7 o'clock in the morning non-stop to 4 o'clock. You can see this guy, he has went up to 1,000 and going down 1,000, going down 1,000, going up 1,000 all day long. Fasten your seatbelt. You should not be doing this. Now the ES is coming here to this area here. It's a pullback re-entry and gonna have an effect on the Nasdaq again. The first bumper was this Nasdaq here, couldn't make it. Now they are playing us with a 1 bar up. And now you can see the Nasdaq is coming to this area at 4682 and it's gonna take a dive again. And this is where a place you should not be trading anymore. You should cut off everything, flatten out everything, put your feet on the table, get yourself an espresso, glass of wine, whatever makes you happy, and relax until this market giving us different direction. But you cannot keep auto trading, guys. You cannot keep auto trading. This is a wrong thinking. We're gonna sit down and monitor what's going on in this, and there is no long trade. Absolutely, there is no long trade, not at the moment, and we will see. Also on the ES, this is an advantage. Also, if you are using a smaller time frame, the ES has took a, I didn't want to show it, but now I'm forced to show it. The ES, because this one here is a 14-second, and this ES took that trade from here, from this area, 46.75, 40. He took it from here, from the very bottom, right there. He took that trade, you know. He took that trade, and look, the trade is going against you. So when you are a smart man, even if you are using a smaller time frame, you go up here, and you know this ES is going down. You say, okay, I'm going to protect my $300, my $400. I'm going to close position on this one here. Or if you want to, you don't want to close position, you can move the needle a little bit. This one here you cannot do. On the other one you can. But this is it. This market here, if you notice how the ES dropped from the 46.82 and now is struggling and is going to go down and is going to drag the NASDAQ with him. Because this is a no-no area. And this is all about trading. It's all out. Look at this. It's dragging the NASDAQ again with it. And from next week or from this week, you only take a live trade on a sim or, on your live account when it comes to your condition and to your standard. You don't chase the market and say, oh God, I'm going to miss a trend. Let it be. Let it burn in hell and miss the trend. It's okay because you're not missing anything. You miss the trend, you live another 1 hour to catch another trend. You miss the trend today, you will do it tomorrow. But don't jump out of a balcony on the first bar movement. Don't get excited over one single bar movement went above the average, 1 or 2 bars. They're playing you. They are playing you and they're laughing. Don't. Be consistent. It's very hard. Put your feeling on the side and stay put. You say, okay, I'm not taking any trade long above the 46.82.25, and that is the end of the story for today. I'm not doing it. And if I have an auto trade, I'm going to put it on hold to see what's going on in this market. If this market able to break all those area here, that means officially we are long. If this market keep going down, that means we are still in the short position, and that is also applied to the NASDAQ. Even if there is a couple bars above that area here, nothing is going to happen. The ES is going to drag the NASDAQ down, and as you see, it's going to drive you crazy. So what we are going to do, we don't want to sit down and start bragging about PNLs. We don't want to come at night and brag about PNLs and avoid the whole education section, because some of them, they cannot even trade a paperback. How they going to help you with that? They cannot even trade anything. So we need to understand where is our limitation in the auto trade, how to trade it, how to look at the technical chart, how to say, okay, let's do it, let's stop. It's enough for today, because this is not a wash machine, folks. This is not a coffee machine you turn on in the morning and the coffee comes from the other side. An auto trade is not a coffee machine. You turn it on in the morning and the money start popping out to your bank every morning. That's not going to happen if you're not going to look at the 1 minute chart. The 1 minute. I'm insisting on 1 minute, not those Ranko bar, including my Ranko bar, not my Ranko bar. You know, so I'm not attacking anyone. I'm attacking my own Ranko bar. There we go. Here is the situation. Back and forth. They are monkeying us around, thinking it's going up, thinking it's going down, and this is where you start getting in trouble. And there is nothing. We called this trade, and now the market is going back to the 46.73. Maybe we'll cross it, maybe we'll not. We will take a quarter out of our pocket to see if it's going to cross the 46.73 or 25. Or we can look at those instruments here to see if this area here, 46, 73.25, able to hold. If this number able to hold is gonna go back to the 46.82. If it's not, it's gonna go ahead and monk us around, go a little bit to the target 3 and going back to target 2. And that play is gonna stay with us from now to 12 o'clock. And mark my word for it, and watch it here happening. I'm taking 5 minutes of break for fresh coffee, and we'll be right back. And I want you to keep your eye on those, please. Thank you. Watch this one, guys. Please, please, please watch this. Look how the support is building below the ES. Please. You see how much is getting stronger, the support? By getting all the support area here, the ES is getting stuck between here, support area, projection. This situation here, whether we are auto trading, manual trading, voodoo trading, you're not gonna make money in here anymore. You're not. Maybe you have some position open and now it's $60, $70 or $80 or $100. We're not talking about that. We have a trade here. It's $350 long on the ES. We're not talking about that. We're talking about consistency and knowing when you are trading on a high risk trade, or if your auto trade is not taking a trade right now, you are on an extreme danger trade, and your trade here, the risk is 9 out of 10. Your trade, 9 out of 10. If you hold your horse on it until this ES, because now look, the ES have a lot of support here, and it's gonna go back and drive you crazy. As we talked, we said the next half an hour is gonna play with our head, and it did. Once we cross the 46.8475, the ES is a tradable. Anything below 46.85 is not tradable anymore. It's very important to see that. If we look at this NASDAQ, because there is a question, Sam, how would you know if the market is tradable? It's right in front of you. If we look at the moment with the NASDAQ, if you notice when the lines get close to each other, that means there is no trade. If you look at the NASDAQ, there is no long trade. Look at this. Many resistance, and they are very close to each other. If the NASDAQ survive one resistance, it's gonna get stuck on the second one. If he survive the second one, it's gonna get stuck on the third one. It's not a tradable to the long side, only to the short side, the NASDAQ. However, on the ES, is the opposite, is no longer tradable to the short side, is only to the long side. And that is the dilemma right there, where a trader get lost. When a trader start taking a trade and start losing money. Here, as we speak right now, tons of people losing money. Every single dollar they made before, when it was trending, now they're putting it right back in. And if he lost or he missed this big trend when the market's open today, he's already losing his pants off right there. He's already blowing his account. And that's what we're talking about, education. That's what we're talking about when we see trouble in the market. Stay away. Don't put your finger in there. You know, when my kids were young and they want to poke something with their finger, I'll let them. That's the only time they'll learn. The thing is, if we are trying to poke this market right now and we burn our finger, it's fine. But not repeat that. Not keep doing the same problem. When you see you're struggling in the market with your manual trading or auto trading, stop it. When you see any kind of auto trade, whether mine or somebody else, is not making money, stop it. Look at your 1 minute. See why, how, where, what's going on. Why? I don't want to look at P&L. I want to know why that trade was losing. This is where you need to approach the problem. We don't hide from the problem. We approach the problem. We want to know why this trade was losing. So next time we can avoid that. If this is what you want to be consistent, that's what you have to do. Consistency. It's not how much the auto trade will make tomorrow. If you ask me how much the auto trade will make tomorrow, I don't know. Could be banana, nothing. I don't know. Until we come in the morning, turn on Ninja Trader and look at the charts and see if this chart is gonna make money or not. Nobody knows tomorrow. All those guys that want to predict the crypto, one guy is going to the moon with it. The other guy is 100,000. All the news last month, everybody was running to the crypto, buying the crypto, because by the end of the year, it is a pattern. It's going to go and explode. It's going to go 140,000. It depends what kind of cigarette he's smoking or what kind of drinking. And then what happened? The Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency dropped. And every single guy on the YouTube put a pattern every year, every 4 years. And when I want to just enjoy my time, I love to see those guys' prediction. No one can predict nothing. Even those, the most experienced guys on the stocks, they cannot predict anything. They have 1,000 horse running. They will have 100 horse dies on them. 100 horse will spike and make money, and the other ones plus minus 10-15%. And the way they do it, they hatch. So they have a couple of stocks, they'll die on them. They will not make money. It will be disaster. Some of the stocks will spike, and the other one, they will make, the differential of the money on every year is 10-15%. And then they tell you this is your profit. They forgot to tell you your 100,000 now in the stock is 115,000, but still is the same buying power. They're telling you made 15,000 and you're paying tax on those 15,000 profit, and this 15,000 profit is nothing because your buying power last year on 100,000, now it is 115,000. So you are going in a circle. And everybody want to predict, every single one trying to teach trading on those Bitcoins, those guys, and each one of them, all of them, they put pattern. I don't believe in pattern, because in 2017 happened, in 2018 happened, now it's going to happen in 2021. What they happen? They're all wearing diapers today. They are really wearing diapers. The Bitcoin did not go to 140 as they expected. I'm not against Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I'm against prediction. You cannot predict. No matter how much you predict, tomorrow the market is going to surprise you. We cannot predict tomorrow until we wake up in the morning and turn on the Ninja Trader, look at the chart, and we can see it's going to be a lousy day or a good day. That's the only time we can predict. Today you make 3,000 on the ES, tomorrow maybe 3 bananas. I don't know. How much you think I will make if I buy your product? I don't know. Banana, I think. I don't know. You're not buying bananas here. You're not buying potatoes. I don't know if you buy 10 kilo potatoes, how much you're going to turn. I don't know if you have a fishing rod. I don't know how many fish you're going to fish tomorrow. And this is the most question it is. If I buy your fishing rod, how many fish I can catch in the sea? I don't know. Maybe you're going to have an old diaper sitting in the bottom of the water. You're not going to get fish. I don't know. The only thing is right now, as we see right now, this market is not tradable, and we have predicted that an hour ago. That is the bottom line. Other than that, it's garbage. It's wasting time talking why your auto trade did not, and I put it this and I put stop loss. It's irrelevant what kind of auto trade you're using. This market is not willing to give you money, and it's the end of it. Sit and enjoy it, relax, wait till this market start trending again, and turn on your wash machine. That's it. We predicted, and here it is. And now, because we know what's going on, our feeling is not gonna get hurt because we're not making money now. We made money, and now we're not. And we're sitting on the side. I'm not gonna activate any auto trade. All of them anyway hit the target, but I'm not gonna activate any auto trade because we already done for today. And I want to show you today that we are done. So I'm gonna kill this microphone, and we're gonna keep watching to see if there's any movement will happen on the market, which I doubt it very seriously. Thank you. Okay, now we are finished with the short trade. And if we look at the Nasdaq, has spaced out a little bit to the resistance side. We still have a little bit, but once this ES across the 46.8475, we are on the long trade, and this is exactly what's going on. The only thing we have left is the CL, and the CL is taken off as we covered before. When there is no trend or there is no trade on the CL, you will find a trade. When there is no trade on the ES, you will find a trade on the CL, and this is exactly the you will find the CL is moving because of the volatility here on the ES Nasdaq, and that bring us to the CL, and we have one ES had an early entry in ES, an early entry, but it is a high risk trade. When it did take that trade, and that trade was taken at 46.78. Let me explain to you. Any guy with a right brain, I mean, the Autotrade took that trade, and this is the difference between luck, he hit it and made money out of it, and a brain, a little brain. If we look at this Autotrade, the way where the ES took that trade, 46.78. 46.78 is right below 75. Is right at the resistance line right here. Where's my crosshair? Right there. Personally, I will not take it here. I will take it when it cross the double resistance. So when we're trying to educate you here and you're saying, well, my Autotrade making 2,000, yes. By mistake, you made 2,000, not by, or 1,000 or 1,500 by mistake, because you don't know what you're doing. But that does not bring stability to your trade or consistency on a daily basis. And that trade, we can sit down and brag about 1,600. But if we examine the entry on it, it was a suicide entry. It is a very high risk entry. Let me explain to you a different way. This entry was at 46.78. Let me show you something. Here is 46.78. Did not make it. Here's a second 46.78. Did not make it. Here's a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. That number did not make it. The last time that number made it. So we cannot sit down and brag about PNL on an ES where 8 times before was not able to make it. This is excellent. This is, the money was made on that chart. Nobody liked to discredit his own Autotrade. But I wanted to show you the difference when you are auto-trading in an educational matter, or you just blind jet skiing and a couple sharks right under you. This is fine. You are happy today. But maybe tomorrow you're not happy about this entry right below the resistance. If we look, it was a dangerous game on that trade. And actually, by luck, not optimization, not knowledge, by luck, your ES broke this double resistance and kept going, but does not mean your auto trade was a brilliant auto trade. Because that trade, I would not allow it personally, taking it. If I'm sitting alone with an ES, I will not allow an ES taking it. Because this is a suicide trade and the risk is extremely high on that trade, and the risk is 9 out of 10. I don't like that. When the market cross here, your risk is 1 or 2. That is a different story. I have also, let me show you on the NASDAQ. Here is a NASDAQ. Let me show you where the NASDAQ took the trade. The trade was at 16377. If you notice, it's right below the resistance. Also, this is not a healthy trade. We got lucky with those trades, but does not mean it's a healthy entry. We got PNL on it, because somebody might say, okay, well, I have 1,000 on that trade, what he's talking about. We have a 1,000 and more than 1,000 on that trade. I can bring down all the market and show you we have a plenty. He has taken a long trade. To an amateur trader, he's looking at $1,000, $800, and that is good enough for him. For a guy is trying to build consistency, he's not happy about the entry. Yes, it made money, but I'm not happy about the entry, because this entry is the same story as this one. This entry is 46.79, and this one here 46.78.25. At least this one here, it was above the resistance line. It was above the resistance line. This one here, it was one tick below the resistance line. Anyway, both of them, they are suicide trade. And I can see it is a suicide trade. So there is nothing to brag about if you make $1,000 in a certain area and you think everything is okay. By luck, your ES did go to the direction you're trying to take a trade, but this is not a consistency. This is what I call luck, which I don't believe in any luck in the trading, but it happened to be you are taking a trade and the market did go to your direction. And that's why PNL itself is not self-sufficient. The PNL is how the auto trade is taking a trade and where is the probability able to exit the trade. This is what is more sufficient on that one. If we look on the NASDAQ is fixing to close that trade, and we know why ahead of time, because there is a projection at 163.96, which that trade is gonna close. Is okay, I'm happy with it, but it was a very high risk trade. It was not a safe trade where the NASDAQ took that trade, and the one on the ES was much higher trade, risk trade. So every single entry on an auto trade, there is a high risk area and there is a low risk area. When we are trading and taking a high risk trade, we have to keep our eye on it in case if this market did go against us, to bail out of it as soon as possible, not to just keep looking at it. If you have a big stop loss or if you are trading 2 or 3 or 4 contracts and wait until you get stopped out. You have to be acknowledged that this trouble in this trade and the probability this market is going to reject on that resistance, so we need to run away, break even plus one take to protect ourselves, or trying to get out of that trade before a disaster happens. So you acknowledge the high risk trade when you are taking a trade. So this is something really you need to think about if you want to build consistency in the auto trading. You have to keep your eye on the chart, the 1 minute chart, so we can filter the good trade and a bad trade and a high risk trade and a low risk trade. So now, as we see, the market is on hold, and maybe it's gonna go up a little bit. Let's look at the ES. The ES is gonna give us some direction, and once we cross the 46.85, we're gonna have a buy entry above the 46.85. However, if the market did not close the bar above the 46.85, the ES is gonna go back as a re-entry, again as a re-entry long at 46.8225. This is a re-entry long on a sim. We're not responsible for your trade on a sim. If there's any pullback on the ES, is going to be at 46.82, and this is the final destination to re-enter the market. And the final destination will be, now it is 11:25, so it will be around 46.89 before 12 o'clock. This is the target before lunch, and the second target will be 46.9250. I don't see this ES is gonna climb to the 46.97 before 12 o'clock. I don't see that. The system is gonna give you buy entry here at 46.86. And it says estimation target is 46.97, but I don't see the ES going to the 46.97 in 30 minutes. It's gonna take much more than that, and there we go. Now we are on a safe entry to the long side, and once we tangle the 46.89. Look now, when the ES start going up, momentum is start building, and the resistance start putting in ahead of time, and you can see the resistance start getting heavier, and it's gonna get heavier and heavier in this area here. So that's mean if we are taking a long at 46.86 or 46.87 limited order buy, most likely from now to 12 o'clock, we're not going to see anything above 46.9250. So we understand the limitation. If there is a pullback on the ES, it's going to be a re-entry on the ES 46.8275. This is the re-entry on the ES. So folks, it's 11:30. That's all what we have for today. I want to say thank you very much. Please be safe. Try to get educated. It's free, and we will see you tomorrow. Maybe not. I'm sorry. I have some family matter tomorrow. probably tomorrow I won't be live on the YouTube. Uh, I have to commit to the family too, so probably tomorrow, most likely it will not be. I don't know yet, but probably tomorrow we will not be going on the YouTube. But of course we will have. If we don't go live tomorrow on the YouTube, of course on Monday we have a private webinar to the members. We need to cover more and more about the institutional auto trade, and we're gonna start tangle with the institutional auto trade, and we're gonna go piece by piece. Last time we did just general information, and this time we are going to go in details with the institutional auto trade. It's a huge auto trade, and I think we're doing fine. We did very good today. We stayed away from the trouble, and we start taking those trades when the ES and Nasdaq, there is two charts that were ahead of me. I didn't like that, but we did very well. I want to say thank you very much, and I wish you a pleasant lunch and pleasant evening, and we'll see you either tomorrow or again on this YouTube channel on Tuesday. Thank you very much. God bless you all, and see you other